12 बज गए एग्जैक्टली।
हाँ तो अभी ओके। Good afternoon, Honorable Vice Chancellor, all deans and directors, head of departments, learned faculty members, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of organizing committee, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the national webinar on coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, a global health threat. The theme of the webinar is very relevant in the context of recent COVID-19 pandemic. I hope the deliberation by our eminent speaker, Dr. S. Nandi, would help in understanding the COVID-19 and more particularly in the control of the disease. Now, I would request our Honorable Dean to give his thought on COVID-19 and introduce the eminent speaker, Dr. S. Nandi. Dean, sir, please.
Good afternoon to all his respected dignitaries from different parts of the country. Myself, Dr. S. K. Tiwari, Dean College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Ranjora, Chhattisgarh Kamdhenu Vishwavidyalaya, Durg, welcomes you all on the auspicious occasion of national webinar on topic coronavirus disease 2019, COVID-19, a global health threat. In this occasion, first of all, I'm highly thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. N.P. Dakshinkar sir, who is the chief patron of this national webinar and a true motivator for our university, sir. I welcome the eminent speaker, Dr. Sukhdev Nandi, famous virologist and principal scientist at Cadret IVRI, Izzatnagar. We are thankful to you, sir, for giving your consent for this delivery of this webinar. Friends, global scenario as per WHO, total number of affected countries worldwide from COVID are 216. Total number of confirmed cases in world are around 1.29 crore, whereas confirmed deaths are around 5.7 lakhs. If we talk of India, total number of confirmed cases are 9.68 lakh, recovered one are 2.12 lakh, whereas total death toll has gone up to 29,853 with a death rate of 2.49%. Coronavirus, it is a large group of virus causing illness in animals and human beings as well. In humans, several coronaviruses are known to cause respiratory infections ranging from common cold to more severe diseases like MERS, SARS, and the most recently discovered one coronavirus causing disease, coronavirus disease COVID-19. And this new viral disease, which was unknown before the outbreak began in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Now, this COVID-19 is now a pandemic affecting many of the countries globally, and the evidence suggests that it is spread occurs between people through direct contact or indirect contact through contaminated objects or surfaces or close contact with affected people via mouth and nose secretion. Precautionary measures include physical distancing, hand sanitization with alcohol, hand washing with soap and water, and use of mask to cover the face. Since whole world is struggling for successful development of effective antiviral drug against COVID-19 and development of vaccine for its prevention. Therefore, the theme of the webinar is most relevant in current scenario of the world. Coming to the brief biodata of Dr. Nandi, he is graduate from BCKV Mohanpur. He mastered and his PhD from veterinary virology from IVRI in 1988 and 1992 respectively. He was awarded DBT Fellowship, Associateship. He carried out research on molecular techniques of diagnosing various viral diseases at Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, CSIR, Jadavpur from 95 to 96. He was also deputed to UK in 1998-99 to undergo transfer of molecular biology training at Institute for Animal Health, Pilbright. In 2011, he was deputed to Australia again to undergo a week training in advanced biorisk training at Australian Animal Health Laboratory, Geelong. Presently, he is working as principal scientist since last 21 years at Cadret IVRI, Izzatnagar. And at present, he is actively involved in testing samples for COVID-19 at IVRI, Izzatnagar. Before we begin webinar, I would like to invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Dr. N.P. Dakshinkar, Sir, shower his blessings for his webinar. Sir, please. बोलो म्यूट है, जल्दी बोलो।
नितिन सर का म्यूट है, उसको अनम्यूट करो ना। हेलो, नितिन सर का म्यूट है, आवाज नहीं आ रहा, उनको अनम्यूट करने के लिए बोलो ना। हाँ, तुरंत बोलो।
As we all know, and we all are experiencing, that we all were taken aback in the month of March because of the global pandemic, and the whole system was forcefully made to stand still. Even the academic activities were also suspended, and all the fraternity was very much worried about the how to run the academic activities, what would be the fate of the students, what will be their future, how to then reopen the colleges and all that. But in this context, we thank the government for issuing various advisories well in time, which are applicable, and our university also various in this regard. I just requested the dean to have a very good talk on this COVID-19, because my perception is that because of the prolonged lockdown or suspension of the academic activities, the students are definitely under the mental duress. In order to wipe out this and to sensitize the general public also, because all the students and the faculties, they would be acting as ambassador for sensitizing, creating an awareness about the COVID-19, how best we can prevent it. So in this context, I requested the concerned faculty also to organize a national webinar, and I must thank the guest speaker for this today's agreement that he would be delivering a very thoughtful and inspiring talk on COVID-19, and I expect that he would be covering all the aspects. He would definitely enlighten the veterinary faculty as well as the others who are interested in attending this COVID-19. Because as regards the COVID-19 is a concern, every day some new information is being poured. And with this information that is being flown, we are confused on many issues. And I am confident that the speaker would wipe out all these confusions and enlighten us about the COVID-19. Thank you, and my best wishes for the national webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite eminent speaker, Dr. Sukhdev Nandi, to deliver his webinar, please.
Nitin Kubla.
Kindly unmute yourself.
So am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah.
And
उनका स्क्रीन में आएगा कि नहीं?
so respected Dr. N.P. Dakshinkar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, ছত্তিশগড় কামধেনু বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় দুর্গ, Dr. S.K. Tiwari, Dean, College of Veterinary Science, Dr. Ratan Ghosh, and Dr. S.K. Maiti. I am very much grateful to all of them for giving me the opportunity to deliver a lecture on COVID-19. So the title of my talk is the title of my talk is Coronavirus Disease 2019 COVID-19, a global health threat. So COVID-19 is a hot topic. It is a very popular topic, and nowadays everybody knows little or more about the COVID-19. So COVID-19 is a viral disease. It is caused by the SARS coronavirus 2. The term corona has come from a Latin word means crown. So current coronavirus, it has been originated from the Wuhan, China in the month of December 2019, and it is similar to the SARS, which was reported in 2002. In January 2020, the causative agent was named SARS coronavirus 2, and the disease caused by this virus is called COVID-19 or coronavirus disease. This is a spherical shaped virus, pleomorphic, and 80 to 160 nanometer in diameter. And in the virus particle, there are 4 structural proteins: spike protein, envelope protein, membrane protein, and nucleocapsid protein. Out of these 4 structural proteins, 3 are present on the surface. And among these 3 surface protein, the spike protein or the S protein is very, very important, and virus attaches to the ACE2 receptor of the host cell by means of this spike protein. And the nucleic acid protein or the N protein, it is actually situated or located inside the virus particle and associated with the positive sense single-stranded RNA genome. So coronaviruses are the family of the viruses, and it causes the sickness just like mild respiratory symptom, or in some cases it is severe in nature. Besides this, it can also affect the GI tract. Among the different coronaviral induced diseases, the importance are SARS, MERS, and the new or the novel coronavirus disease. So what is 2019 novel coronavirus? The 2019 novel coronavirus is a new virus that causes respiratory illness in people and can spread from person to person. The virus was first identified during an investigation into an outbreak in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The virus was named 2019 novel coronavirus by WHO. Pardon? And ICTB, International Committee on Taxonomy on Viruses, named it SARS coronavirus 2. The viral disease was named COVID-19 by WHO. WHO declared this disease to be a public health emergency of international concern and characterized as a pandemic. So coming to the introduction to coronaviruses, host, reservoir, and the infected animal. Coronaviruses usually infect a large variety of animal species as well as birds. Bats are the reservoir of a large number of the coronaviruses, and epidemics occur when the virus of one particular species jumped into the another species, then epidemics occurs. Human coronaviruses usually causes the respiratory symptom as well as the gastrointestinal tract infections. So coming to the introduction to coronaviruses. Coronaviruses are the RNA viruses under the order Nidovirales. They are significant viral pathogen affecting humans as well as the animals. Corona, the term corona has been derived from the Latin word means crown. And under the coronavirus family, there are 4 genus: alpha, beta, gamma, and the delta. So among the important coronaviral diseases of human, 3 are very, very important. The first one is SARS, which was reported in 2002 from the Guangdong province of the China, and it is a beta coronavirus, and it is transmitted from bat to human through an intermediate host, that is palm civet, and it began in February 2003, and the outbreak was lasted until July 2003. More than 8,000 cases are reported with 774 deaths, and case fatality rate was 9.6%. Coming to the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, it was reported in 2012 from Saudi Arabia. It was also a beta coronavirus, and it was transmitted from bat to the human being through an intermediate host, that is camel. More than 2,400 cases were reported with 858 deaths, and the case fatality rate was 35%, about 35%. And more recently, in 2019, another novel coronavirus was reported from the Wuhan, Hubei province of the China, and this is the 7th coronavirus found to cause the illness in the human being. It is a novel coronavirus, and it has been transmitted from bat to human through an intermediate host, that is pangolin. Coming to the coronaviruses are under the family Coronaviridae, subfamily Orthocoronaviridae, and under the Orthocoronaviridae, there are 4 genera: alpha, beta, gamma, and the delta. Under the alpha coronavirus genus, there are 2 human coronaviruses, that is 229E and the NL63. Besides this, they only cause the mild respiratory symptom, not pathogenic at all. Besides this, there are a number of the other animal coronaviruses, such as the porcine epidemic diarrhea virus, canine coronavirus, feline coronavirus, and the TGE, that is transmissible gastroenteritis virus of the pig. Under the beta coronaviruses, there are 2 human coronaviruses, that is OC43 and HKU1. They are mildly pathogenic or less pathogenic, and the 3 are very, very pathogenic. They are SARS coronavirus, SARS coronavirus 2, and the MERS coronavirus. Besides this, there is another important animal pathogen is also there, that is bovine coronavirus. And under the gamma coronaviruses, one important avian coronavirus which is present, that is called infectious bronchitis virus. Under the delta coronaviruses are usually mildly pathogenic, and they can infect bird as well as the quail. And these are the different genus, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and the different viruses present under the different genus. And coming to the coronaviruses which can infect the human being, under the alpha coronaviruses, 2 mildly pathogenic coronaviruses are there. Under the beta coronaviruses, 2 mildly pathogenic coronaviruses there. Besides these, SARS, MERS, and the COVID-19 are also present. Coming to the animal coronaviruses, that is bovine coronavirus, it can cause the severe enteritis in the calves. Feline coronavirus, it can cause the mild enteritis in cats and severe feline infectious peritonitis. And the canine coronavirus, it causes the enteritis and the respiratory disease. And the pig, it can cause the porcine epidemic diarrhea as well as the transmissible gastroenteritis. Besides this, a large number of the other animal species are also infected by the coronavirus, that is ferret, mink, hedgehog, rabbit, rat, etc. And that is why the ferrets and the mink, they are being used as the animal model for testing the safety and the potency of the vaccines. And these are the different coronaviruses I already covered. And these are the different coronaviruses, MERS and the SARS. Previously, there was outbreak. And coming to the question may arise whether the wild and the pet animal can transmit the COVID-19 to the human being or not. The answer is no. Although recently one tiger in Guangzhou was infected with the SARS coronavirus, and that was actually transmitted from an animal attendant to the tigers. Then Nadia, the tiger who tested positive for the COVID-19, also transmitted the disease to 3 other tiger and the lion. But the big cats did not get seriously sick, and there was eventual quick recovery. And similarly, the question may arise whether dog and the cat can transmit the COVID-19 to the human being. The answer is no, but the vice versa is true. Cat can get the infection from the human being, and cat can transmit the infection to other cats. But in most of the cases, the symptoms are mild in nature, and there was eventual quick recovery. So if we look at the genome of the coronavirus, the coronavirus contains the single-stranded positive sense RNA as the genome that is about 30 kilobase in length. About two-thirds genome located at the 5' end code for the non-structural protein, whereas the one-third genome located at the 3' end, they code for the structural proteins. So besides this, there are a number of the accessory protein that is also coded by the 3' end of the viral genome. And if we compare the genome of the SARS coronavirus, MERS coronavirus, and the novel coronavirus, we'll find the lot of differences, such as the 3A and the 3B, that accessory protein which are present in case of the SARS coronavirus, but it is present as 3 in case of the MERS, and in case of the novel coronavirus, it is 3A. Similarly, 4A and the 4B accessory protein are present in the MERS coronavirus, but absent in other two viruses. Similarly, 5 is also present in MERS, but not present in other two viruses. Similarly, 6 accessory protein are present in the SARS coronavirus and the novel coronavirus, but absent in the MERS coronavirus. And 7A, 7B, they both are present in the SARS as well as the novel coronavirus, but absent in the MERS coronavirus. And one another extra protein is present, that is accessory protein 10, that is present only in the novel coronavirus, but absent in other two viruses. And it might be the fact that the novel coronavirus is highly virulent to the presence of a different types of the accessory protein. So if we look at the structure of the virus, the coronavirus is spherical in shape, and there are 4 proteins or 4 structural protein, that is spike protein, membrane protein, envelope protein, and the nucleocapsid protein. Out of these 4 proteins, 3 are present on the surface of the virus particle, whereas the nucleocapsid or the end protein is associated with the RNA of the virus. And out of the 3 surface protein, the spike protein is very, very important. By this protein, the virus attaches to the ACE2 receptor present on the host cell. So these are the different genus, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, I have already told. And if we look at the structure of the viruses, there are 3 important proteins which are present on the surface of the virus particle, that is S protein, M protein, and the E protein. So why the COVID-19 is very, or the SARS coronavirus 2 is very, very virulent? Because in coronavirus, one of the inherent property is the high rate of mutation and the recombination. And when the viruses of the 2 different species recombine, there is the generation of the highly virulent viruses, and it might be the case in case of the novel coronavirus. So novel coronavirus or the SARS coronavirus 2, that has been transmitted from the bat to human being through an intermediate host, pangolin, and afterwards, subsequently, the disease has been transmitted from human to human being. So if we look at the different coronaviruses which can infect the human being, there are a total of the 7 human coronaviruses, out of which 4 are non-pathogenic or mildly pathogenic. Only 3 are very, very pathogenic. They are SARS, MERS, and the SARS coronavirus 2. The SARS coronavirus that has been transmitted from the bat to the human being through an intermediate host, that is palm civet. In case of the MERS, from bat to human being through camel. In case of the SARS coronavirus 2, that has been from bat to human being through pangolin. So coming to the timeline of the SARS coronavirus, on 30th December 2019, a cluster of the 27 pneumonia-like cases are reported in Wuhan. And 1st January 2020, Wuhan seafood market was closed, thinking that it might have been originated from this market. 7 January 2020, novel coronavirus was isolated. 10th January, genome sequence revealed, and 11th January, first death reported. 12th January, novel coronavirus or 2019 novel coronavirus, the name was given by the WHO. 13th January, first case outside the China reported in Thailand. and 15th January, second death reported. And 20th January, it was revealed that the transmission is possible from human to human being. And 23rd January, travel restriction imposed in Wuhan. 30th January, public health emergency of international concern was declared by the WHO. 2nd February, first death outside the China was reported in Philippines. And 12th February, COVID-19 name was given by the WHO and SARS coronavirus by the ICTB. And 11th March, WHO declared COVID-19 as pandemic. So if we compare the SARS, MERS, and the COVID-19 time of origin, in case of SARS, it is November 2002. In case of the MERS, June 2012, and the SARS coronavirus, December 2019. Place of origin, SARS, both SARS as well as the SARS coronavirus, they are originated from the China, whereas in case of the MERS, it is from the Saudi Arabia. And in all the cases, there was travel history, confirmed cases. In case of the SARS, 8,096. In case of the MERS, 2,494. But in case of the SARS coronavirus 2, the latest figure is that up to 15 July, 1,35 lakh people were infected. And in case of the SARS, 744 people died. In case of the MERS, 858 people died. And here it is not applicable because it is still going on. And the mortality rate, in case of the SARS, it is about 10%. Here it is about 35%. But here it is about the 5 to 6%. Healthcare worker, 23% healthcare worker are affected by the SARS. 9.8% healthcare worker are affected by the MERS, but here it is not applicable because it is still going on, and it can be spread from the animal to human and from human to human, and it is applicable to all the 3 diseases. And transmission is mainly airborne and the contact, and it is also applicable to other diseases. And patient to healthcare transmission is possible in all the cases. Epidemic period lasted for the 8 months in case of the SARS, whereas in case of the MERS, it lasted for more than the 39 months. And in case of the SARS coronavirus, it is not applicable because it is still going on. Infection risk is very, very high in all the cases. Current status, no new cases. But in case of the MERS, very few new cases are reported. And incubation period is 2 to 14 days. And in case of the MERS, 2 to 15 days. Here it is 4 to 7 days. So coming to the natural host, in all the cases, it is bat only. Intermediate host, in case of the SARS, it is palm civet. In case of the MERS, it is camel. And in case of the SARS coronavirus 2, it is pangolin. And both the SARS as well as the SARS coronavirus, they are under the lineage B, whereas the MERS coronavirus, they are under the lineage C. And genome says in all the cases, it is around 30 kilobase. And both the SARS as well as the SARS coronavirus 2, they utilize the ACE2, angiotensin converting 2 receptor of the host cell, whereas in case of the MERS, it utilizes the DPP4 receptor. Clinical feature, symptoms are common in all the cases, that is fever, cough, fatigue, and the shortness of the breath. But in addition to that, in case of the MERS, there is acute renal failure, and laboratory tests, abnormal blood count, coagulation, organ dysfunction, and cytokine storm, and it is also applicable to the MERS and the SARS coronavirus 2. Severe cases, sepsis and the septic shock, and it is also applicable to the MERS and the SARS coronavirus 2, and specific treatment, both in terms of vaccine and the chemotherapeutic agent, it is not available in all the 3 cases. So if you take an example, as of February 11, 2020, there were 43,103 cases of COVID-19 with 1,018 deaths. But in case of the SARS, 2000, which was reported in 2002, there were 8,098 cases with 774 deaths. And what I mean to say that in case of the COVID-19, there is only 5 to 6% mortality, but in case of the SARS, there is 10%, 35%, and even in case of the Ebola, one of the diseases which was reported in 2014, there was 40% mortality. Coming to the genomic organization of the SARS coronaviruses, I have already told the 2/3 of the genome located at the 5' end, they code for the non-structural protein, and 1/3 of the genome located at the 3' end, they code for the structural protein. Among the non-structural protein, mostly it is mostly required during the time of the virus replication, transcription, translation, assembly, and the release. And the most of the accessory protein as well as the non-structural protein 1, they antagonize the human interferon, and other non-structural protein act as the proteases. So what is the origin of the SARS coronavirus? There are many school of thoughts, but it is certain that it has been originated from the bat. Why is it so? Because if we compare the sequence of the S14 gene, S14 is actually present in the form of the S1 subunit and the S2 subunit, and if we compare the receptor binding domain of the S1 subunit of the SARS coronavirus 2, we will find that it is very closely related to a bat coronavirus, that is R8TG13, as well as the another pangolin coronavirus, and there is about 95% homology. Whereas the human SARS coronavirus 2 is only 82% sequence homology with the human SARS coronavirus. And the SARS coronavirus 2 is also highly related to the bat coronavirus, two bat coronaviruses, and there is near about the 90% sequence homology, and it is also applicable to the polybasic cleavage site of the S2 subunit. So coming to the epidemiology, persons infected with the disease had a travel history to the Wuhan seafood wholesale market in Wuhan, and it was thought that the virus has been originated from the seafood wholesale market. But afterwards, in a study, when sample was taken from 585 persons, and it was found that the only 33 sample exhibited the positivity to the SARS coronavirus. So it is not sure that virus has been originated only from the Wuhan seafood wholesale market. It might have been some other sources as well. Around 51% patients had no epidemiological link to this market. Main transmission routes are the respiratory droplet as well as the contact, other routes of aerosols, and the oral fecal transmission. Anybody, whether it is male, female, elderly person, young person, children, infant, and the pregnant woman, they are all susceptible to the disease. Average incubation period is 4.5 days, but range varies from the 0 to 24 days. Among all the patients, 1.1% had the contact with the wildlife, 30% had been to the one, and 70% had contact with the people from the one. So how does COVID-19 spread? I have already told. It is spread just like the flu through aerosol, respiratory droplets, and the close contact. And it can also be transmitted through the inanimate objects such as the handle of the brass train tram, through the computer keyboard, through the contaminated surface, then credit card, debit card, then mobile phone, and the button of the lift. See that SARS coronavirus 2 is highly related to the SARS in respect to the virus replication, hyperreactivity of the immune system, and the pulmonary destruction. So the virus is actually binds to the ACE2 receptor present on the ciliated cell as well as the goblet cell, and it causes as it is replicated inside the lung, there is severe lung disease, and it is called the acute respiratory distress syndrome. And these persons who are highly susceptible or vulnerable to the infection, they are persons above the age of the 60, then smoker, and the person which are having the comorbid condition such as the lung disease, liver disease, heart disease, and the kidney disease. So coming to the basic reproduction number or the R0 or transmissibility, how quickly it spread. If the R0 is 1, that means one infected person can infect only the one healthy person. But if the R0 is 2, one infected person can infect two healthy person. Then again, one infected person can infect two healthy persons. So if the R0 is 1, then it will maintain as a straight line. But if the R0 is more than the 1, it will go upwards. And it is happening in case of the SARS coronavirus 2 as well. Here the R0 is 2 to 2.5. And if the R0 is less than 1, we have to make it less than 1, then only it will go downwards and ultimately it will die out. So total number of the confirmed cases since the 500 cases, If we see in India, every week there was double in the number of the cases. But now we have reached to the stage when the cases are being double every 3 days or the 4 days. So Pakistan, Japan, and the Korea, South Korea, they are in the better position as compared to India. But Russia, Brazil, and the Turkey, they are not in a better position comparing to the India. So coming to the confirmed cases, we have seen in this graph that although in most of the countries the graph has been flattened, but in case of the India, Brazil, and the Russia, that is in the upward mode. So if we compare the COVID-19 cases in India, Pakistan, and the Bangladesh, we'll definitely see that the Pakistan and the Bangladesh, they are in the better position as compared to the India, and the curve is going upward, and it is actually bending in the wrong direction. So coming to the terminology, because we are come across many terminology, that is community spread. What is community spread? Community spread means people have been infected with the virus, but they do not know how and where they have been infected. And social distancing means to maintain a distance of 6 feet and to avoid the local public transportation, that is bus, train, etc. And congregate settings at the public places where the close contact with others are likely to be possible, such as the shopping center, theater, stadium, etc. Incubation period is the period elapsed between the exposure to the virus as well as the onset of the symptom. And the isolation is keeping the infected person in a particular building or the premises to avoid the transmission. And the quarantine is to keep the healthy person in a building or the premises, although the persons may be exposed to the disease, but they are not still showing the symptoms of the disease. Epidemic is the rapid increase in the number of the cases of a disease above the normal level. And pandemic, when the many countries of the world are getting infected and the large number of the people are getting infected with the virus and showing the symptom of the disease, then it is called the pandemic. Outbreak is similar to the epidemic, but in case of the outbreak, it is confined to the more limited geographical area. So this is not the first endemic we are experiencing. In the last century also, we have experienced 3 other pandemic. The first one is 1918 Spanish flu. And in that Spanish flu also, similar type of situation was also created, and the hospitals were flooded with the patients, and there was difficulty in the breathing, and there was shortness of the breath, and there was announcement not to come out from the house, and there was announcement to wear the mask as well. And in the Spanish flu, 20 to 40 million deaths were reported, and the causative agent was H1N1 flu virus. Then again in 1957, Asian flu, 1 to 4 million deaths were reported, and the causative agent was H2N2. In 1968, Hong Kong flu, 1 to 4 million deaths are reported, and the causative agent was H3N2 influenza virus. So although in 3 different pandemics, there were 3 different influenza viruses, H1N1, H2N2, and H3N2, but in all the cases, the hemagglutinin gene were of avian origin. And in 1918 Spanish flu, the patient were showing the symptom of the shortness of the breath, difficulty in the breathing, and lungs are filled with the exudate and the fluid. And many died, struggling to clear their airways of a blood-tinged froth, and sometimes the blood-tinged froth was coming out from the nose as well as the mouth. And this is the important story. That is Phyllis Byrne, a lady at the age of the 20, died in 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. But when the scientists took out the dead body from the coffin and analyzed the sample, it was found that she died of the H1N1 virus infection. So what are the different signs and the symptoms of the 1918 pandemic? The symptoms are similar to the classic flu symptom, and pneumonia was observed in 10 to 20% cases, and there was partial death, and that happened within 24 hours. And there was cyanosis extending from their ears to the entire mouth, and due to the death of large number of the persons within a short period of time, there was a shortage of the coffin to pack the dead body, and the body is stacked in the morgue from floor to the ceiling. So in the 1918 also, there was advisories that everybody has to wear the mask, but over the time we have forgotten to wear the mask. Now the time has come to adopt the same public health measure. So we have seen the 3 pandemic in the last century, but in this century also we have seen another pandemic, that is in the year 2009, and that was caused by the H1N1. So the COVID-19 or the SARS coronavirus 2, it actually enters into the body through the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. After that, it enters into the lung and starts the replication. So the virus actually binds with the receptor binding domain present on the S protein with the ACE2 receptor present on the host cell. And the ACE2 receptor are present in lung, heart, kidney, and the intestine. So in the COVID-19 disease, these 4 organs are severely affected. So coronaviruses invade the 2 types of the cells. In the lung, there is goblet cell and the ciliated cell. The function of the goblet cell is to keep the lung protected from the pathogen and to keep the lung moist. And the ciliated cell, the function of the ciliated cell is to clear the mucus from the lung to the exterior, but they are the preferred host of the SARS coronavirus. Whenever the human body or any animal body is exposed to any pathogen, then the immune system will respond. But the immune function will be highly regulated and confined to the infected area. But one of the important features in the COVID-19 or SARS coronavirus 2 infection is that immune system respond in an exaggerated manner, and there will be high release of the cytokine, different cytokine, interleukin 1, interleukin 6, interleukin 12, interleukin 18, then interferon alpha, gamma, and the TNF alpha. And most of the cell will die, slap up into the lung, and that clog the area. So important feature of the SARS coronavirus 2 infection is the cytokine storm. In most of the cases or most of the pathogen infection, the normal immune response is triggered, but there is highly controlled. But in case of the COVID-19, the macrophages and the dendritic cell release the cytokine signals, and more number of the lymphocytes will be recruited in the infection area, and the lymphocyte will try to kill the SARS coronavirus 2 infected cell, and in the process many of the lymphocytes will die, and they will start release the cytokines, and the immune response cycle will be out of control. Inflammatory reaction continues to increase, inflammatory response begin to destroy the healthy cell, and there will be multi-organ failure. So cytokines are the immune system alarm, and they will recruit the immune cell to the infection site, and the cytokine, due to the cytokine storm, there is large scale inflammation of the body, and the blood vessel will be more permeable, and fluid shifts out, and there will be less production of the oxygenated blood, and there will be less supply of the oxygenated blood to the different parts of the body or the different organ, and there will be multi-organ failure. And the lungs will be looking like the honeycomb-like structure. There is a hole present in the lungs, and the inflammation results in the more permeable alveoli. Alveoli is the site where the gaseous exchange occur. The carbon dioxide will be taken out, and the oxygen will be inhaled, and oxygen will be utilized for the oxygenation of the blood. And this oxygenated blood will be supplied to the different organs and the different parts of the body. As the lung efficiency is diminished, so there will be less production of the oxygenated blood to the different organ, and there will be multi-organ failure. So coming to the replication and the protein synthesis, the virus contains the positive sense RNA as genome, and after the uncoating, the positive sense RNA will be released. It will go to the ribosome, and it will synthesize the non-structural protein. One of the important non-structural protein is the replicase, and replicase will act as a template for the synthesis of the negative sense RNA from the positive sense viral RNA. And again, the replicase will act as a template for the synthesis of the positive sense RNA from the negative sense template RNA. And this positive sense RNA will be utilized for making the progeny virus particle. And some of the positive sense viral RNA will be utilized for the synthesis of the structural protein. When the structural proteins, different structural protein will be produced and the positive sense RNA will be synthesized, then they will assemble to produce the whole virus particle, and ultimately it will be released from the cell by the process of the budding. So this is the different structural protein produced by the, and these are the different structural protein as well as the RNA, and they will all assemble to produce the infectious virus particle or progeny virus particle. So what are the symptoms of the COVID-19? The main symptoms of the COVID-19 are the fever, cough, and the shortness of the breath. Symptoms appear 2 to 14 days after the exposure. The average incubation period is about the 5 days, but it has been seen in 81% patients with confirmed COVID-19 have mild symptoms, and the 14% cases they are severe with the symptom of the pneumonia in both the lungs. In some cases, it is very fatal. And in CT scan, there will be ground gas appearance in the lungs, ground glass appearance. But in 5% cases, it is very, very critical and often require the ICU admission and the ventilator. And these are the different symptoms. Some of the persons with the COVID-19 infection, they don't develop the symptom, and they are actually called the super spreader. They are actually harboring the virus. They will not show the symptom, but they can able to transmit the infection to other susceptible animals or human beings. And the symptom, coming to the symptom, in coronavirus infection, cold and the flu, there are overlapping symptoms. So I will suggest that it is better to go for some laboratory test to get it confirmed whether it is coronavirus infection or the cold or the flu. So COVID-19 triggered as on 12th July. If we see the Indian condition, near about 8.5 lakhs cases are reported with 22,000 deaths, and Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Delhi are adversely affected. So the virus does not fear any race, religion, caste, rich or poor. An important international personality who have been tested positive for the COVID-19 are the Boris Johnson, that UK Prime Minister, the Prince Charles, then Canadian Prime Minister wife, and several others. If we look at the Indian condition, that superstar Amitabh Bachchan and the Abhishek Bachchan, they are found positive for the COVID-19. Then Aishwarya Rai, the heartthrob of many young people, she is also tested positive. Then Anupam Kher's mother also tested positive. Then Kanika Kapoor, then several family members of the Jyotirmoy Sindhia, the Saeed Afridi, and the Kiran Kumar, all are tested positive for the COVID-19. Coming to the therapeutic approaches, as it is a new virus, there are not many antiviral drugs available to treat the COVID-19 patient. But some of the potential antiviral drugs or the therapeutic agents which are available, that is lopinavir and ritonavir. They actually act on the 3CL-Pro, that is proteases, and the PL-Pro. Another important or very effective antiviral drug, that is remdesivir, that acts on the viral RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. And Arbidol, it is actually effective against the S protein or the ACE2. It is actually ACE2 inhibitor, and the chemostat methylate, and that is actually active against on proteases, that is TMPRSS2. And this is the graphical representation of the different chemotherapy agent working at the different places. And up to 12th July, the number of the patients tested for the SARS coronavirus 2 in India per million, 8,191 samples have been tested. And in case of the Spain, per million, 1,22,000 more than 122,000 have been tested. In USA, per million 1,69,000. In Italy, 96,000. So as compared to the other countries, the number of the patients tested for the SARS coronavirus 2 in India is very, very less. Although the India's population is 10 to 12 times bigger than any one of these countries. And up to 12th July, 8,26,241 cases have been reported in India with 22,000 deaths, and daily there is daily increase of about the 30,000 cases. And there are two school of thoughts. Some say that community transmission has been started, but some say that community transmission has not been started, but it is certain that it has been started in Mumbai, Delhi, and the Chennai, although it may not be started in other places. 80% of the total cases have been contributed by only the 49 districts in India, and mortality rate is about the 16 per million in India, whereas in UK it is about the 658 million per million, and in case of Italy, 578 million in Italy and 607 million in Spain. Why it is too low? Because of the under-reporting or the non-reporting of the COVID-19 patient in India. And share of the daily COVID-19 tests that are positive, and the India is actually contributing in between 3% to the 10% of the total COVID-19 cases in the world. COVID-19 daily test versus daily new confirmed cases per million. In India is actually doing the test that is near about little higher than the 100 per million, and positive cases they are actually contributing little higher than the 10. And coming to the diagnosis, we usually adopt two different types of tests. One is molecular test and another one is serological test. In the molecular test, we actually do the probe-based real-time PCR. What we usually do, we actually collect the sample, then from the sample RNA is extracted, then it is converted into the cDNA with the help of the reverse transcriptase, and it is subjected to the real-time PCR. And in the PCR, two primers are there. Along with the primers, there is one probe. And in the probe, at one end, there is fluorophore, and another end, there is quencher. When the fluorophore and the quencher, they will be in the probe, there will be no fluorescence. But when the new strand will be synthesized, the enzyme will detach the fluorophore from the probe and it will fluoresce. And in the positive case, you will get the sigmoid type curve. In the negative case, there will be no curve. And we are getting the kit from the SG Sanjay Gandhi Hospital, Lucknow, and they are of three types, that is A-star, LabGun, and the Invitrogen. In the A-star kit, we actually target the E gene for the screening test, and for the confirmatory, they don't mention which particular gene is being targeted. In the LabGun, E gene is for screening, and RDRP, RNA-dependent RNA polymerase, for confirmatory. In the Invitrogen, they are actually targeting E gene and the RNP. RNP is from the human side. This is to check the quality of the RNA. And this is E gene for the screening, and RDRP and the HKU or ORF1b, that is for the confirmatory test. So these are the different kits we are getting from the Lucknow, that is A-star, Invitrogen, and the LabGun. And this is another representation of the real-time PCR. So one may ask, when he should go for testing against that COVID-19. So this is the day of symptom onset. If you go 1 week before, you may get the positive result in PCR, but you will definitely get the negative result in serological test. So it is the best time from day 1 to up to the 3.5 weeks, and you will get the positive result both in case of the PCR or real-time PCR as well as in the serological test. So you can see that IgM antibody is detectable only after 1 week, whereas the IgG antibody is detectable only after 2 weeks. And there are many rapid antibody detection kits are available in the market, and you may get for different types of situation. You may get the negative result. You may get the IgM positive, that means recent infection. You may get the IgG positive only. It gets old infection. you may get the IgG as well as IgM positive. So here you are getting the IgG as well as the IgM positive at the 4 week or the 3 weeks. So in the molecular test, we actually detect the genome, whereas in the serological test, we actually detect the antibody. So these are the different kits we are actually using for the diagnosis of the COVID-19 patients. And in the case of the A-star, that screening, for screening, we are actually targeting E gene. In all the cases, it is the E gene for the screening test, because E gene is present in all the coronaviruses. And E gene positive does not mean that it will be positive for the COVID-19 also. You may or may not get the positive result. And internal control, here there is nothing, but in the lab gun, they are using the internal control, and that is actually tagged with the VIG or the hex fluorophore. In case of the RNP, it is the RNP or the RNA polymerase that is tagged with the FAM. And for confirmation, A-star they are not disclosing. Here it is RDRP, RNA dependent RNA polymerase, tagged with the Cy5. And in case of the in vitro gene, the RDRP FAM and the HKU FAM, or RDRP FAM and HKU VIG. Because in the in vitro gene, we are getting two types of kits. One is in one well, you will get the E gene, and in another well, we have to put the for the RNP. But in the new kit, we can do the multiplex PCR. In one well, we can detect the E gene as well as the RNP, and in one well, we can detect the RDRP as well as the HQ. But previous kit, it was separate. It separately, we have to detect the E gene, RNP, RDRP, and the HKU. So this is the graphical representation of the real-time PCR. And coming to the therapeutic agents, as it is a new disease, so there are not many therapeutic agents available to treat the COVID-19 affected patient. But there are some anti-therapeutic agents. Some therapeutic agents are available, such as the baricitinib and the ruxolitinib. They are actually active against the JAK kinase, and lopinavir and the ritonavir, they are actually active against the viral proteases, and the darunavir also, and the favipiravir, remdesivir, and the ribavirin, they are active against the RDRP. Okay, arbitol is also active against the spike protein. Arbitol is nothing but the ACE2 inhibitor, and the chloroquine, it is actually non-specific antiviral drug because it enhances the pH of the endosome, so there will be no uncoating of the virus particle, no release of the RNA molecule. And this is the treatment only the distribution of the fluid and electrolyte, oxygen therapy, and the ventilator support. And the hydrochloroquine or chloroquine, it actually raises the lysosomal pH from 4 to 6, and due to the increase in the pH, there will be no uncoating and no release of the RNA, vital RNA. And the remdesivir, it is actually active on the RNA dependent RNA polymerase, and there will be no synthesis of the negative sense RNA. And azithromycin and the doxycycline, they are all antibiotic. It acts on the 50S ribosome, it acts on the 30S ribosome, it blocks the RNA translation into the protein. And coming to the coronavirus vaccine, there are a total of more than 125 vaccines various institutions are going to develop, but out of the 125 plus vaccines, only 15 have reached to the phase 1 trial, and only 10 have reached to the phase 2 trial, and the 3 have reached to the phase 3 trial. So you can imagine how difficult it is to develop a vaccine against a particular disease. So the vaccines are based on mainly the live attenuated and the inattenuated vaccines, non-replicating viral vector vaccine, RNA vaccines, and the protein subunit vaccine, and the DNA vaccines. And these are the different vaccine candidates, and the different institutions, they are going to develop the vaccine. There is University of Oxford, Moderna, there is RNA vaccine, then Pfizer, One Institute of Biological Science, Beijing Institute of Biological Science, etc. Then Inovio Pharmaceutical, Sinovac, Novavax, and in Indian condition, then Bharat Biotech, Bharat Biotech, they are actually going to develop another vaccine, that is Covaxin, and it was supposed to come out in the market on 15th August, but later on they have retracted this. It will not be possible to release the vaccine on 15th August. And this is the status of the different vaccines. And you can see that out of the different vaccine candidate, only the one vaccine that is developed with the Beijing Institute of the Biotech that has reached up to the stage of approval, and rest all other either in the stage of the phase 1 or the phase 2 or the phase 3. So how can the COVID-19 infection be prevented? So lot of advisories, instruction, they are available in the media, in the newspaper, in the TVs, and wash your hand often with the soap and the warm water for at least 20 seconds. And use the alcohol-based sanitizer, avoid touching your eyes, nose, and the mouth, and cover your cough with a tissue, and stay home if you are sick and avoid close contact. So thoroughly cook the food, then meat and the eggs, and regular hand washing, avoid anyone coughing and sneezing, avoid the animal. And coming to the prevention, avoid travel to outbreaks areas, stay away from the crowds, and stay or maintain the distance of about the 6 feet, and stay away from anyone with the symptoms. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There are some
Thank you.
queries also, sir.
Okay, no problem. I am ready to
Host will ask certain questions.
answer the question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nandi, for giving an excellent presentation on COVID-19.
Okay, thank you
Everybody
very much.
enlightened with the latest about COVID-19. Now, there are several questions which have come
Okay, no
up
problem.
for talk. So, one very important one, what I feel is that recently there is a report in Madhya Pradesh that poultry are positive for COVID-19. Could you please throw some light on it? I mean, you know, this the Bhopal lab is possibly designed for the diagnosis of COVID-19 of human being, but the same lab is confirming that poultry has got the COVID-19. How do you justify it?
I have also seen the news, but it is a fake news. The poultry birds cannot transmit the COVID-19 or SARS coronavirus to the human being. Okay. Am I audible? Yes. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
I have given the answer. Could you follow? Yes.
Oh, yeah. मिल गया अपने को नहीं आया yes sir okay sir next question is
Yes.
is there any possibility that China has synthesized this COVID-19 and released it?
Yesterday also I saw a paper, because it is not a natural virus, it is a laboratory grown virus, and Chinese scientists have developed this virus using the CRISPR-Cas9 technology. So it is an artificial virus and it is a laboratory grown virus.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, sir, there is another question. Why there is more deaths in USA compared to other countries, where the health system is very good? why there are more deaths? Are there? I mean, the virus strain which is prevalent in USA is possibly very virulent one, or any
Yes,
other
maybe,
factors are playing
maybe.
a role in it?
Maybe in USA, the virus which is prevalent there, it is very pathogenic. And another thing is that somebody is correlating the BCG vaccination and the non-specific immunity against the viral disease. So somebody is saying that if the person has already taken the BCG vaccination, he or she is little bit more immune to the disease as compared to others who have not taken the BCG vaccination.
Okay, thank you, sir. Another question. Suppose the vaccine comes to the market, how
Yes.
long it is going to
Get the
survive it,
protection.
or how long it is going to be effective, as it is the RNA virus and we know the virus is going on changing. Suppose we are expecting the vaccine by the end of this year. So even it comes, so how long it is going to give protection, because the virus is changing. So could you please throw some light on it, sir?
If the vaccine comes also, if it is an inactivated vaccine, it will give only the limited time protection, only few months. And if it is RNA vaccine also, it will give only few months protection. And regarding the mutation, as in case of the flu virus, every year they are actually renewing the vaccine strain. In this case also, it may be possible we have to renew the vaccine strain every year.
Okay, thank you, sir. Our Dean sir is going to ask some questions.
Okay, no problem.
How much time it will take to develop herd immunity against this COVID-19?
It is very difficult to say, but the thing is that until and unless 60 to 70% human beings are positive for antibody, then you cannot say that herd immunity has been developed. 60 to 70%, but at this stage, only 3% people are showing the positivity against the COVID-19 or the SARS coronavirus 2.
Okay, sir. Secondly, sir, as per your view, what should be the standard quarantine time for COVID-19?
Actually, incubation period is near about 14 days. So we are actually recommending that one should keep in quarantine for at least 14 days. But it may be extended up to the 3 weeks also.
Okay.
Because
Thank you.
up to 24 days.
Thank you very much.
You okay? Yes.
Dr. Nandi,
Yeah, yes.
some people are advising use of ivermectin in the treatment of this COVID-19 virus. How it acts? Is it acting as an immunostimulant or other?
It is actually as a immunostimulant, non-specific immunity only. It is not specific to the
Other
virus.
antiviral activity or something else?
No, it is actually non-specific actually. It is not non-specifically actually boost up the immunity. It is not a wise choice.
Okay, thank you.
Now, our honorable. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Now,
Thank you.
I would request our honorable Vice Chancellor to say a few words about it, sir. Sir, please. Okay. Now I invite Dr. Maiti to say a vote of thanks. Dr. Maiti, please.
Hello. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Good afternoon, all. On behalf of our organizing committee, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this COVID-19, a global health threat. At the outset, I express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor and Chief Patron of today's national webinar, Dr. N.P. Daskar sir, for his encouragement and motivation for organizing this. I also express my sincere thanks to our Dean, Dr. S.K. Teorisher, for his enthusiastic support, and he has been with us from beginning of this planning to the end of this program. I thanks are also due to all registrars and dean directors of our CGKB. My special thanks to our invited speaker, distinguished animal virologist, and my friend Dr. Dev Nandi for excellent presentation covering the origin of the virus, epidemiology, its pathogenesis, lighting light about the treatment and also preventive measures which can be undertaken during this pandemic. So we are really enlightened with your knowledge on this topic. We are highly thankful. We accepted our request to deliver this webinar. And last and more, my sincere thanks are also due to all participants from the different states of India. We have planned webinar and got more than 400 got registered, but about more than 125 could join this program. So I think I am highly thankful for their patient hearing and active participation. I also thank all who have helped in this successful organizing this webinar. So again, thank you one and all. Thank you.